Okay, I think we'll go ahead and get started because we have a lot to cover today. So for anyone who just joined us, my name is Kimberly Tucker, and I'm the Director of Marketing here at DSD. We're thrilled to have Sandra Smith, our resident Sage Intelligence Product Specialist on our Sage team. So we are really excited to have Sandra, explain the intelligence reporting and all the really valuable aspects of what Sage Intelligence can do for your business. So without further ado, I will give the mic to Sandra and we'll get started.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm very excited to be doing this with you guys. And yes, I am the Sage Intelligence Product Specialist. I've been with Sage for about 7 years, and I am happy to answer any questions that you have at the end. But first of all, what I'm going to do is show you what I'm going to talk about. So I think a lot of you on the call are familiar with Sage Intelligence and using Sage Intelligence, but there might be some people on the call that are new. So I do want to do a little bit of a what is Sage Intelligence reporting, and maybe just a reminder for some people of some of its features and capabilities. I'm going to go through the standard reports, but then also the additional free reports that we have. Components is always a little, there's always questions around components, so I do want to take some time and go through a slide on that. Going to go through the demonstration and then follow it with some very helpful resources. I don't know if you know, but we have a lot of videos and documents and such that can help you as you ramp into Sage Intelligence. So with that, let's just start with the first bullet, which is very, very important. Sage Intelligence is an Excel-based reporting tool. Simple as that. Now, business intelligence is really a term, as you all probably know by now, it's pulling together information, or actually data, and turning it into information that can be useful. And it can be in different formats. And in the case of Sage Intelligence, we're using Microsoft Excel. So we're pulling all of the data from your Sage 100 system. We're pushing it into these templates that are in Excel so that you can use your Microsoft Excel skills to analyze and to view that information, and also to allow others across your business to view that data. Now, we have these ready-to-use reports and layouts, these existing layouts. By layouts, I mean, for example, in financials, an income statement layout or balance sheet. In sales, you might have, one view of sales data versus another. But we've created these reports that are ready to use and available in Sage Intelligence Report Manager, which is right here. It's the interface by which you'll run all reports. We've built these, but you can customize them. You can change them. You can edit them to meet your particular business needs. And we also have a financial report. It's separate because it's a designer. It allows you to design your financial reports the way you need to see it. And that's back to those layouts. We have some layouts that I'm going to show you that kind of give you an example of what you could do with Sage Intelligence utilizing Microsoft Excel. But you can also design them all the way down to the cell level. For those of you who have those skills, you can do that. Or, of course, DSD is there to assist you, even create reports for you, whichever is it's your choice. Now, we also have the ability to create new reports from other sources. What does that mean? It's a little more advanced, and I am going to talk about this a little bit more detail in the demonstration. But it means that with Sage Intelligence, you can not only pull data from your 100 system to your GL, right? We have that's what our ready-to-use reports are created from. But you can also access all kinds of fields within other modules within your 100 system. Maybe even user-defined fields that you've built, that you've created, and you want to see in reports. You can do that. You can create new reports with those, or you can add those user-defined fields to other reports, to other of the standard reports. And you can report off of other modules. If you want to use Sage HRMS if you want to do the project, fixed assets. I could go on. You can also make additional connections and pull in that data and view your information. Now remember, you don't have to do that necessarily unless you might have the skills or you learn with our Sage Intelligence training. But the SD could come in there and assist you with that very, very easily. They have the skills. Now, collaboration is very important to us. So we've enabled Sage Intelligence to allow you to send documents to these reports to groups, individuals, etc. You can send to a file. You can send as an email, FTP even, to a website as an HTML version. So, and you can also distribute it automatically. So you can set it up so that a report goes to a certain group, every time, every specific day of the week. So auto distribution really enables that true collaboration so that everyone in your business is able to make decisions and to truly understand what's going on within their section of the company. Okay, so that collaboration is very, very important in the whole business intelligence scheme of things. That's really utilizing the capabilities of the software to pull the information that's directly related to someone's job so that they can make decisions within it. Okay, and two of the most important points are here, and that is, first of all, you can view your data in existing reports and layouts within Microsoft Excel. And that means not only you can view it, but you can, alter it. So there are pivot tables. If you need to look at additional data, you can. If you need to send it off, you can. Customize and design your reports. Very, very important. Using Microsoft Excel, you can add formulas. You can add charts, graphs, create dashboards. You can even include your financial statements, let's say your income statement, balance sheet, and whatever else you have. You can include another report within Sage Intelligence as a sheet into your financial statement. That means you could have your income statement, balance sheet, maybe sales information, or vendor and purchasing information, or project information. Maybe someone really needs to see all at once. We have videos on that, and there's some detail to it, but it really is very easy to do that, to really create a management pack of financials and operational information. All right, let's look at the standard reports. These are the reports that come with Report Manager. Again, Report Manager is that interface where you run all the reports from. These are the dashboard you see here, the financial trend analysis, GL transaction detail. There's sales, purchase, and inventory. And then, of course, the financial report designer is there, but that requires the designer module. I'm guessing a lot of you know these, and I'm hoping that you run these because these are reports that pull data directly from 100 that you can see right away and really make some good decisions based on the information that you're entering within your business every day. Sales, for example, you want to see by salesperson who sold what, by item, by gross profit, who's most profitable, etc. Lots of information off of just these standard reports that can be made available to your team, your company. And then when I talked about customizing, so customizing using Microsoft Excel. So the top one there, of course, is the financial report designer. That's typically what most people are very interested in, right? I imagine all of you either use a financial report designer or maybe you use some form of that, but this is where you can use the task pane on the right. That's why we call it the designer. It's why it's a separate module, because there's additional development there where you can either use our layout like you see there and make changes to it, add additional columns, additional fields to it, whatever you need to make it look the way you need it to. Or you can even start from scratch. You don't have to use what we've already built. So that's one way of customizing, and another is, for example, like I mentioned earlier, changing the pivot table, getting that pivot table field list open and changing the fields that are, available over here and viewing them in the pivot table. Not quite Excel 101, but close. I mean, some of you might be really real experts in Microsoft Excel and think, well, pivot tables are easy. With the pivot table field list, though, I do want to reemphasize that if you have user-defined fields in any that you want to see in any of these reports or in new reports, you can add them. And again, a little more advanced, but we do have training and free videos that are available that explain how to do this, but always, always go to DSD first. Let's just enable them to dig to see, how you would use these fields, if there's a formula that you need to, include in that report, etc. All right, that's customizing using Microsoft Excel. And then, of course, everyone loves that ability to see further, dig down, drill into the supporting data, and you can do that. This is just a screenshot of a value that if you right-click, you look at the very bottom, there's the drill down capability, which opens up a new sheet of all of your accounts and then all of your transactional information. So you can dig into each of your accounts and see that sensitive transactional information within your financial report. So very important, and it's all done using the financial report designer. Okay, I mentioned a little bit earlier, don't know if you guys caught that, but I said we do have additional free pre-built reports. And these are over and above that list of, 6 or 7 reports that are in the report designer. These are reports that you can access from our sageintelligence.com site. Now, we call it the report utility because, excuse me, with 100, we have the ability to download this little icon here. It's just a small executable that you or any user that's using Report Manager would be able to download this icon and then click on anytime you want to think of, anytime you think of a report you need and you want to go out and see if this Sage Intelligence team has built it. And each time you click on it, it opens up this screen right here. And you can see I could also, scroll over, but there's quite a few reports that we've built, lots of financials, lots of sales, a few dashboards, quite a few that you can, just click on. I wouldn't download all of them at once, although you can, just might take a while. But choose which ones you want and download right to Report Manager. Now, you can also go straight to our website, sageintelligence.com, go to, I think it's clicking on resources. I can show you a little bit later in the presentation, but click on resources and then go to additional reports. Here's where you can download the utility, which is this icon, or you can go to individual sections where you can download the report. There's a preview of each report to help you decide which one you'd like to download. And here's just a short list of types of reports: cash flow, ratio reports, trial balance, etc. Now, there's also this Power View. I don't know if anybody's ever seen Microsoft Excel Power View, but they're really cool. They're simple pivot tables that also can be turned into nice dashboards like this. This is one we've done. And so there's colors that, of course, you can change. You can change each of these. They're actually little graphics, little widgets in here that you can change. You can turn this into a pie chart or any other kind of view. It almost looks like Power BI, if those of you who are familiar with Power BI. But they're nice and colorful, very interactive. So, I'm letting you know this because these are the type of reports you can give to those people, those sales managers, those purchasing managers, inventory managers, whoever throughout your business. They can interact with it. They can get the information they need and only the information they need, not anything else. And it's more understandable, right? People can understand a graphic like that a little bit easier than maybe just a straight tabular look. You can also have the tabular look, but this just enables quick at a glance picture, which is worth 1,000 words, right? So these are just some options for your additional free reports. You can see that solvency and profitability report up there might be useful. So again, reports that really allow you to dig more into your business and gain a better understanding, as the title says, of what's going on in your business so you can make decisions off of that. All right. Now we're going to go into the component section. So I've already mentioned Report Manager. That's that interface where all the reports run from. You can create new reports, but its functionality is to manage the report properties, not just run them out. But it not only can you manage the properties, but that's where you save all of the edits that you make within Microsoft Excel. So it's typically for your report writer or those who manage reports. And you have a per user license, but you get one license free with your Sage 100. There's also the report viewer. Now, I love this application, and a lot of people don't necessarily know about this, but it's a great application that allows a user to just open it, view a list of reports, and run the report. So they just run them. They cannot save any changes that they make in Excel, because of course they're using their own Excel. They can save it to their hard drive, but it turns into kind of a flat file. It's not updated information. Every time they click on a report, the report runs out and it runs new data. But that is the value is where they can self-serve. You don't necessarily have to. You can still send them, distribute the report, but you don't have to. They can serve themselves. And the value also is drilling down to that supporting data. So that's who we suggest getting to managers who might need to see that supporting data in a financial report. It's a per user license, but about half the price of the report manager. So it's really valuable for those managers, et cetera, who really need to see information when they're drilling down, because when you distribute a report, you're sending it by email or sending it to a file or to a website. The user cannot drill down. And remember, that's so that you can better manage your business data, okay? Not just have everybody have access to it. Now, I've talked about the report designer. Again, it's where you'll create or just run your financial reports. You can use our predefined layout. And it's simply that, a report within Report Manager that has additional functionality, a lot of additional functionality. But I wanted to simplify it a little bit. Report Designer is just for those who want financials added to their Sage Intelligence. Otherwise, they would have the other standard report. And it's a site license. Anyone with a Report Manager or Viewer license can run those reports if you give them permission. So remember, if you have someone with a viewer license and they could, depending on the version, they could see that financial report, but they can't run it out because those with Report Manager haven't allowed them to. Okay, and take a look at the support levels. Talk with DSD about this if you don't already have the Report Designer. Now the connector. I'm going to talk about that again in the demonstration, but that is a little more advanced, but multi-company, multi-currency for those who are, have other systems. But it's ODBC compliant database connectivity ready. So the connector is where you connect, hence its name, to other databases. And it allows you to create a report within Report Manager now, create that report from that connection for specific data that you want to see in a report. A little more advanced, DSD can help you get started or help you move forward. There's some videos on our website that can help you understand, what's going on, why it's there, how to use it, that kind of thing, if you'd like. And then finally, their namesake. License Manager, Security Manager tracks those licenses, but it also tracks those users and who can use what report, especially in that viewer sense, who has access to which report. All right, let's go ahead and get to the demonstration. I think it's gone to sleep. No, it hasn't. Good. Okay. This is Sage 100. I just wanted to open this up and show you Sage Intelligence Reporting. I've opened Report Manager, and this is Report Manager. So you have all of your folders on the left-hand side with all those reports I mentioned earlier, the standard reports. There's you could have this demonstration pack as well. Typically, we include these as the reports with those examples of the financial layouts, and I've made a copy just to show you those that are new. You might open Report Manager, you'll see this, that to edit you make a copy, and that's just what I've done. Of course, I would change the name of this if it were to be my report going forward, and you have that ability in Report Manager. But that's the demonstration pack, your financials. The financial report designer is there. You have your inventory, you have your purchases, your sales, I could go on. And here's that new reports folder where I've got quite a few that I've downloaded, even I think I have even a couple that are the same. But you can download them as many times as you want. They're the new reports from the report utility from our website. You can download them. If you decide not to use them, delete them. If you decide to use them later again, download them again. They're yours. They're free, and they're available. Okay, I have run out the demonstration here. The financial. Okay, there we go. The financial report designer. That's the demonstration. Again, I wanted to show this because here's your task pane over here on the right. It always opens up with these instructions and a home page to access our website, our how-to videos. Don't forget these. Oh, and don't forget our tips and tricks where we talk about these the functionality, how to use Microsoft Excel tips, Sage Intelligence tips, and it's all related to report writing. So it's not frivolous information. It's definitely helpful information. So check out our tips and tricks and our instructions page. But let's just move right into the report. So this is just an example of something that we've built. It's a balance sheet. But what I wanted to show you is that we have the ability to come in here and if you want to change a period, you can. And notice it's just this column, the current month, that's changing. Everything else stays static. We've created it that way. But I'm just showing that it is dynamic. So if I change the period, I can also change the year, which changes everything, of course. But this is where you can compare. Now I'm using demo data, so not everything is. Let's see if I can get some more data here. Not everything is, not all the fields are full, but that gives you an idea of how it's built. It's a dynamic system. So if I open up one of the groups here, you can see my account number. I'm going to go to an actual value and click into it so that you can see what we're using. Within this formula, we're using, of course, the year, the period we have here, but we're using this one that gives us the value in the actual column. That's why it wasn't changing. In our current month, we're using the period in our value here. So many different ways to do this, right? You have your ways for your financial reports. We have some options here. You can use this or, of course, build your own. And, of course, this is Excel capability. If I select the two, it opens up all the groups. If I select one, it closes all the groups, makes it nice and neat. And we even have not examples, but an explanation here that you know, if you want to customize, use this layout. Just change your account numbers and your account descriptions, and you can just pop right in. You might want to change the color of some of these headings too, to the colors of your company. But there's a balance sheet, an income statement. We have this summary income statement there, our cash flows, and I like this one. Let me give you a chance to look at some of these. There's cash flow. Here's the cash flow detail. And I like this because it gives you a nice graphic. at the bottom. So we not only have our current year 2020, let's say, prior year 2019, so you can see them somewhat you can see each year side by side. Again, you could also change it so that you have each column for each period or month side by side by year. But I like the graphic. It shows a little bit more information. It just shows you, this is the graphic we use. If you want to change it, you can. Remember, this is Excel. You can change any of this. There's your chart tools ready to be changed. And all you have to do is save the changes in Report Manager, and you'll be good to go. And then a simple summary by account category here. This is where we're using our account category. Because remember, if I go to the lists tab in our task pane, you can create reports based on your categories, which are there, account groups, account types. Don't forget your budget codes. All of these you can create a report from, just like we've done right here. I want to go back, though, to the income statement again and just remind you, those of you who are using Sage Intelligence or just getting started, that you have trees. So if your segmented accounts are important to you in reporting, you want to be able to look at by, your data, if they're segmented by cities, departments, however they are segmented. Okay. Remember, you can use them here within your reporting trees. So we have the highest level is what starts out at the top, but let's say if I just want to see Atlanta, pop it in. There's my Atlanta numbers. I just renamed this one to sales and marketing, just in case you're using it by division. Just know that you can see everything and manage. You can create them very easily using the manage button. If I go into those same ones, I can look, and these are just a few examples I have. I'm using wildcards, and you can see where this is Irvine is the O1 segment. That's all that's visible there. O2 is here. We have a range. So on and on. You can set this up however you need to according to your segmentation. But I'll also say, those of you who have used FRX or maybe want to switch, you can use those trees you've built within FRX. There's a nice utility that enables you to convert your FRX trees into the trees within Report Manager. Now, there's a process we have for converting your reports. Okay, so you can convert your reports over to Sage Intelligence reports, over to the Financial Report Designer report. But I call it a process because it's not really a conversion, but the process is basically copying your Excel printed out FRX report into the sheet within Report Designer. But I will say that a lot of times it's almost better to just go ahead and create a report from scratch. And let me do that. I'm going to click on this plus sign really quickly, get a new sheet. And what I'll do is, I'm not going to do the whole report, but just show you how you can easily just start a report from scratch. So you might think there's the current year and the current period formulas. You might think, oh gosh, it's going to take a long time. It's going to take some time. But you know that if you just try it once or twice with maybe some of the simple information that you have, just try it just to get used to how this works. Here's the list. You could try it even with your groups, but I'm going to grab my main accounts and drag them over. And these column headings you can use to sort. Use Microsoft Excel to sort or to group or to show some subtotals on some of these columns. Those of you who use Excel will probably understand what I'm saying here. If not, we do have videos on how to do that. But I'm going to remove those. I'm just going to, type in, let's say, an actual heading, because I'm going to come over to my formulas. I'm going to grab my actual formula. So I dragged in my list. I've got my actual formula. I could have a budget right next to it, year to date right next to that, budget year to date right next to that. I can keep dragging them over, additional columns, but let me just show you the basics. And that is I need a formula here. So of course with Excel, always open the FX button, the formula bar, the function argument window. And if you ever need any help, this opens up into a nice graphic that explains all of this. So if I got to start, of course, with my account number and reference the column. I'm going to absolute reference the year and the period. I'm going to add one more though. Whoops, did I do that right? The year BT, yes. I'm going to add one more, and that's going to be B4 is going to be my reporting tree. So I have, let's see, my system was doing some crazy things, so I just want to make sure it's accepting this. And it's not, but with some of these online, WebEx webinar things, it kind of wreaks havoc on my system here. But I'm going to keep going, and hopefully it's going to show you what it needs to show you. This is my reporting tree path right here. So I think I did that other one. Yeah, this is the period. I'm talking, can't talk and chew gum at the same time. Sorry, folks. There we go. Okay, so now I have my account number, my year properly added, my period, my reporting tree, select OK. I definitely have to change this to 5 because 6 doesn't have any data. And I'm going to copy it down. So there's my values. So I have everything, all the values I need for all of my account numbers. And from here on out, it's really just formatting. So let me just show you one more thing, and that is if I wanted to do a range, I could very easily do a range, which also captures new account information, not new account numbers, but new account information. So let's just say I'm going to 124. Sorry, 120. Yeah, 124.00. Copy the formula up, and then from here I would just format everything. Sorry. There we go. And there's my value. So I can have whatever range I'd like. I can name it whatever I'd like. I can group all of these as my, my certain types of assets or liabilities. I can group them as, my revenue, if it's for an income statement. I can do my totals using Microsoft Excel. I can look, since I opened it with 2019 data, I can show 2019 data as well as 2020 information data. So go back and forth. Or again, if you don't want it dynamically like that, which actually helps some users, but if you don't want it, you want it by column, you can do so. All right. I want to go ahead and show you, let me also show you those trees one more time, just to show you that can be dragged down. I think I put them there. There it is. You can put them anywhere. Put them in as a column heading on a whole other sheet and point all your sheets to that one parameter, however you need to do it, you can. You need to set it up. Okay, I'm going to minimize this because I want to move on. I have a couple other reports that are available, like this health check report that's available on our website. And it's one that you can download. It's a financial ratio health check. We've done everything. All you need to do is run it out. And you can see that we've set it up as a dashboard, but I'll show you some of the supporting sheets. But here's where you can change, very minimal changes, but you can see where I'm toggling between the 2 years that I've run out. I could also, well, let me stick with 1 year and just choose the financial period. Now you can really see some changes there. So it's information that could be helpful for you to make decisions. And you can see where we've created additional information for you. So for example, the gross margin percentage for the year is 35% compared to a benchmark that you create of 30%. So we've set these formulas up so it really can give you some great information, some great insight to how your business is functioning. Here's the financial ratio report. Again, notice the choices I made on the other page is persisting to different pages. I don't have a lot of data in 2019, but you can see where I have my key metrics at the top, and then I can filter by, again, year and period. This is all the data in tabular form. I didn't pull in these years. I don't have data for that, so that's why they're not showing. And here's all my settings where I can set what it is. You can even, I think we have a hidden sheet that you can reverse engineer some of our formulas. You can enter your benchmarks and so forth. Really helpful dashboard that you can use to benefit decision making within your business. Let me open up our next one, which is our sales flash report. I love this report. This one, I've chosen a certain period because when I ran it out, it gives, it asks you for the period that you want to use. I have total sales for that period. I even have an explanation of what's going on, how many customers were invoiced during this period with the highest sale, what that was. But I can interact by coming in here and selecting a specific date, and it'll change the daily sales for that date, the average sale, highest sale, and lowest sale as well. It also gives you a few graphics in your top 10 sales reps, customers, and items. You can see here, all of this can be changed. So notice when I click into it, it changes. So if you want to change the cost of sales from the amount, I don't have data in that, but anyway, you can change any of these on the fly. But remember, any change you make to Microsoft Excel, you got to save it in Report Manager. Okay, I think those were all I had open. We have so many reports to show you, but what I promised was to also go to the connector. I'm going to open the connector. I could open it here, but actually what I'm going to do is go to Report Manager and open it from there. Let's say that I have a copy here of my vendor purchases report because I want to open up all of the properties to it, which again, you have advanced. Here's the advanced button at the very bottom where you can determine if it can be even, run outside of, or sent to someone. There's lots of different properties you can change here. There's the columns, your filters that you can add, one that we've already added, but you can remove and add the parameters as well. Again, the parameters are at runtime. So when the report runs, the user can choose whatever filter they want to choose. So I was going to show you the connector, and I want to show you how to open it from Report Manager. So if I double click on this, you can see the same tabs over in your properties window on this side. But notice there's an extra one, the source container. I'm double clicking. There's the name of the container, but right clicking, I can either open the properties of this or go right to it. By going to it, it says, well, I'm going to open a new connector, because sometimes you might already have it open if you happen to have the connector module. So this is just reminding you. I don't, but it's reminding me anyway. So it's opening the connector. Now again, this is a little more advanced. This is something DSD would most likely be working with you on rather than yourself. Yeah, see, there's some things that, I'm sorry. I'm going to try it one more time, but I don't know that it's going to work. I can just open it the other way. Yeah, see, it's my image, and my image doesn't like any of the WebEx or webinar software. I've yet to find one that it likes. Anyway, okay, this is a connector. Let me close this up so you can just kind of see. This is how it will look when it opens. Looks kind of similar to Report Manager. But I just want to describe the fact that these are all drivers. What are drivers? They're just functionality that enables you to connect to different types of software. So you can see that there's a driver that we've used. This is actually, we have a name for it here, but it's actually a SQL driver that can be used with either a Providex or SQL database. So we've already done this. You don't have to. Okay, and this is where we've made a connection. So I can also make a connection, for example, to Access. I might have some in here. I do. I have a couple connections I've made to Access, to Excel, so you can connect to Excel. So these are connections, but let me open up one of the connections, which this is what I'm using with my reports in Report Manager. All of these relate to all the reports within Report Manager. Report Designer opens up with several sheets. That's why we have what these are called containers per sheet. Again, this is a little advanced, but for those of you who might be a little bit more advanced on the line and are thinking of wanting to use this for either creating new reports or something outside of Sage, you can. Here's, for example, that customer sales report that we have, and it just shows you the advanced information to the right, like a join, or if you're using Crystal reports, if you have some views or SQL queries, you can pop them in here and reuse those. So don't worry, all that work that you've either paid for or done yourself can be reused here. And by that I mean as a container by which a report can run from. So this container contains all of the data, like the fields that you want to present in your report. And this is just the technical back-end information. So if I were to click on this container, these are all the fields that are in our sales report that we use. I think we have it in a pivot table. And this is where you can add your user-defined fields or anything else that you want to see within this particular report that's associated with this container. Okay, and I am almost. I'm sorry. I want to go ahead and talk through some questions. Resources, and then some questions. So I just wanted to do an overview of the connector, but if you have any questions, I'm going to stay on the line as long as needed to answer every one of them. So while you're kind of gathering yourselves there, what I'd like to do is I'm going to open up our Sage Intelligence website, show you where all of our resources are. If I don't want to run out of any time, I want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to ask questions. So with that, let me know what questions you have, and I can also go through the resources after you're finished with your questions.
So to Sandra's point, if anyone has any questions, please go ahead and put them into the chat box. I've been monitoring it, and it has been pretty silent, but I know we kind of ran through a lot of things pretty quickly. So if anyone has just general questions about Sage Intelligence or would like to see anything, I'm here monitoring the chat box. Sandra, if you want to go over the resources where sure. Anyone would be able to go, just in diligence to the recording, and anyone that is poking around it right now, that would probably be helpful as well.
Great. So I've gone to sageintelligence.com right here. And let's start with those additional reports. It's very easy to get to. Go to resources, and you see the very first one is additional reports. I'm going to click on that. And let me make it a little smaller. And just choose Sage 100 Intelligence Reporting, and there you are. So you can come in here and look at all the, for example, let's see, these are our financials. You can look at all the different types. I had opened this health check. So you look at the little quick link, you can see that looks exactly like what I had open. You can download it from here, or again, you can download the utility, and then the utility on your desktop, you can always open that. Let me do that right now. Here it is. So I can simply open that up once you've downloaded it. And again, see how they're all checked. just, I usually like to just select none, and I go in and I click on one and I just download it. It doesn't take very long to do, but go in there and download them. And again, they're going to download right into that new reports folder. If you haven't downloaded any before, you can download them. It just says it's now available, so that's good. But if you haven't downloaded any, it's going to create that particular folder. So that's the report utility. If I go back though to resources, here's our tips and tricks again, and blogs as well, the tips and tricks on here, how to use the financial report designer, how to Excel charts sometimes do different things depending on how your data changes within your pivot table. So lots of tips and tricks. Our learning portal is another big place you might want to go. Choose Sage 100, and that's where you can look at our documents, download some guides, or go to all of our how-to videos right here. There's so many. Know that they're all categorized according to beginner, intermediate, and advanced. See, within my image, it's taken a while to show. Do we have any other questions? Or any questions at all?
Not just yet. Not yet.
Okay.
Well, if there's not any other questions, or do you have any FAQ type questions that you typically get asked, Sandra?
Yeah, a lot of people, people that are new typically ask, how can I get started? And you have that report manager license all ready to go, and just have DSD kind of walk through, see, how you want to use it. Just run the reports out within your report manager that's there. I have other questions on, can I add formulas to some of the reports? And absolutely, if you have a report, some type of formula within a certain spreadsheet, you can. I've got other people asking, can I use Excel as a data source and report from it? Then you can, yes, that's that connector. Make a connection to your Excel database. You got to turn your Excel data into a table, which is very, very easy to do, and we have videos on how to do this. Turn your Excel spreadsheet into a table, and then connect to it, and you can create a report from a nice, cool-looking dashboard.
Okay. Yeah, I think that if any questions come through, feel free to email, your account manager first and foremost. But you're also welcome to contact me, Kimberly, or simply email info@dsdinc.com, when we will route you to the appropriate party. And I obviously have all of Sandra's contact information. So we at DSD and Sandra at Sage Intelligence, we're happy to answer those questions or give you a more in-depth demo unique to your needs. But otherwise, I will go ahead and give you guys back about 10 minutes of your hour. Sandra, thank you so much again for joining us, and we hope you all have a great day.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.